How do you know if you're obsessed enough to achieve actual results in the field that you're focused on? This video is going to be all about what does it mean to be obsessed with something? Because we all know in order to achieve actual results in anything, you have to not just want it badly, but you have to be obsessed with it. So I'm going to demonstrate what actual obsession with something looks like. And I'm not talking about addictions, but it does look very similar to an addiction, and it works in a very similar way, except it grants you positive results. So what sparked this idea is actually I was having a chat with my girl, and she was saying, I have a meeting after work, but I'm just going to skip it because I have to go to the gym, and there's no way I'm missing the gym. And for context, she's someone who's only been going to the gym for about a year. And that reminded me of myself when I started going to the gym and I took it seriously. That's more than 10 years ago. So we're going to go back to the early beginnings of Maxim's gym journey. So my friend and I would always go to the gym at the most random times just for fun. We didn't know what we were doing. But at one point, we started going consistently every single day. I was about 15 and a half years old. More specifically, it was August 26th, 2015. I don't know why I remember that date. It was very significant. That's when everything changed for me in terms of deciding that I'm just going to go to the gym and stick to it long enough to see results. Once you started going, it's not that difficult to continue for the short term. You always find time in your day. As a kid, you're not that busy. You have time after school. You have time on the weekends. You might even have certain breaks at school so that you can go to the gym if you have a gym nearby. That was the case for me. We actually had a YMCA right next to my school. I was in high school at the time, and my friend and I, we decided to go no matter what. But that was really put to the test only when certain obstacles started to appear. So naturally, being tired, being exhausted, that's not going to stop us. That's easy. But what happened when there was a school event? What happened when we knew we had so much homework to do in the evening that there's going to be no way we can go? And today's chest day and we're due for a PR. What does that look like? So it got a little crazy at first because we couldn't believe that we're actually doing that. And whenever we would know that we might not have as much time in the evening, because I also had other things like swimming class, and I do not consider that as a gym lifting or gym session workout. So when we ever found a dull moment in class, we know that, hey, the next class, we're actually not going to do that much. We're just going to go to the gym. Now, I'm not encouraging you to get obsessed with something where you start skipping school and it's going to affect your performance and your grades. That's not the point here. I'm just sharing my story. And just for the record, when I was in school, my grades were over 90%. So let's get that straight. If you're having problems with school, this doesn't work for you. But school was going well. It was easy for me. So I would prioritize the gym. It was very often that there would be some useless activity or some class that we know we're not going to do anything in. Or there was something called Spirit Week, where you would dress up as something different every single day. Maybe it's pajama day, maybe it's twin day, whatever. And in the afternoon, there would be this large assembly where everybody gathers from the school and there's some kind of performance. We were so uninterested in that. Although it's better than sitting in class, it's something more entertaining. We would sneak out of that and dip to the gym. What it looked like is our class would line up, we'd start walking towards the gymnasium, and we would somehow find a way to split off from the line without the teacher noticing and all the other kids not really paying attention, and just go to the other way and go to a different exit, and you're at the gym. Because the gym was right next door. And of course, sometimes we would get caught where we're in the hallway and teachers are asking, what are you guys doing in the hallway? Shouldn't you be in class? Come here, let me talk to you. And we would just turn around and run the other way until we were at the gym. That's true obsession. And what's funny is that we got another one of our friends to join the gym consistently. And there was a time, and this guy's a little bit crazy. He goes above and beyond. He's huge these days. So he was in class writing some kind of test, and my friend and I decided that we're gonna skip our class because it's useless and we're gonna go to the gym. And we just thought we'd say hi. So we stopped by his class, the door was open, and we were trying to wave to him so that he would notice us, so that we would get his attention. Immediately, he just got up and walked over to the door. The teacher was like, "What are you doing? You can't get up in the middle of a test. What are you doing?" And he just came out to the hallway, said, "Yeah, what's up, guys? What are you doing?" "Oh, we're going to the gym. Have fun with your test." He says, "Wait, I'm coming." He walked back in the classroom, grabbed his backpack, took the paper, put it on the teacher's desk, and left while the teacher was going, Where are you going? What are you doing?" He just left, and we walked straight out and went to the gym. Now, we didn't encourage him to do that. That was just really funny, and we were kids. But this is what I mean by being obsessed with something, that you're gonna get it done no matter what. And this kind of dedication or obsession with going to the gym no matter what actually carried over into everything else, like university life, work life. So what this looked like further on was, in university it's a little bit more lenient. You could choose which classes you want to go to. No one takes attendance. So if we ever knew that there was a lecture that we're not going to attend, it's gym time. It's that simple. At work, if you have a 1 hour lunch break, sometimes that was the only time to go to the gym, because if I was to fill up my schedule with 2 or 3 jobs, I can only go to the gym on the break. So that's what I would do. And naturally, you're not actually going to take 1 hour. You might take a little bit longer because you have to get there, come back, change, whatever you have to do. And I would often be late back from my breaks. Was I that guy? Sure, sometimes. But it was worth it. I still got all my work done. Management always loved me because I was always the best at what I did. So they couldn't even say shit to me. And my other coworkers would always go, "How are you getting away with this?" If I'm late by even 1 minute, the manager's up my ass. And I just told them, you gotta be the best. If I'm better than all of you guys, I'm gonna get more leeway. And this was the same with not skipping my meals. I would always have my meals on breaks. Even if it would take a bit more time, it didn't matter. Even while in class, sometimes just being late to the class, walking in because you just had a gym session, and then pulling out your meal. Nobody would dare do that. I remember my friend doing this so often. He would walk in class 15 minutes late when the teacher's on the board, sit down, pull out a block of cheese, and start eating. And the teacher goes, "Where were you? Why are you showing up late?" "Oh, it was back day." What is he gonna say to that? Obviously, it sounds like a joke. What is he gonna do? When other people see your unwavering determination to continue what you're doing, they're not gonna stop you. They know you're gonna go as far as necessary to do your thing. And this actually ties everything into the next part of the story, where even in social situations, social gatherings, for example, of course, in those uni days, you do a lot more partying. I would still never give up the gym or the workout. For example, if there's a party and I have a class until 9 p.m., I'm still going to go to the gym, and people would be wondering, "Hey, when are you pulling up? When are you coming?" I would just send them a picture that I'm working out. Maybe I'll pull up at 11 p.m., 12 a.m., it doesn't matter. I get to miss all the boring part anyway. But I'm always going to get what's mine first. And at that point, it was my own gains. I'm always going to get that, no matter what. A lot of the times, even when I was in high school, I would host the parties myself. And it was based on the agreement that, hey, although we're going to party, the next day we're going to the gym. And that's exactly what happened. A couple friends that would always go to the gym with me, we would agree that after the party, the next day, we always go to the gym. And that was basically how a lot of our winter breaks and summer holidays looked like, is party, gym, and fit some video games in between. That's what it looked like. Now, I'm not saying that's the lifestyle you should go for. What I'm saying is, despite everything else going on, there was one thing certain. It's that we're going to go to the gym. as well as also prioritize the food. Even when we were partying, we would make sure in the store when we're shopping, we would actually buy the correct grains we want to eat, the meat, and whatever other healthy diets we were eating at the time. It was mostly about bulking. So even at the party where people would be eating chips and other garbage, which we still bought, but I would be standing there cutting meat and going over to the barbecue as a 16-year-old because I knew I'm still going to be making gains that night. So the goal here isn't to tell you guys to do unhealthy things as long as you're prioritizing one good habit. The point is, this is how it went for me. These days, I don't do that. I know that drinking, partying affects your gains, right? I know all these things now, but I was still able to build despite all that. And now the obstacles that can get in the way of my work or my gym or whatever else that I planned in the day, they just look different. It could be having to avoid people who aren't for you, who actually detract you from your goals, or people who always want to do the unhealthy things. I avoid all those things or limit those things. And if you're someone who knows exactly what I'm talking about, then the best part for you is that you already know how this obsession and results and achieving your goals go together. You're actually able to apply this to any other realm of your life. So if you want to grow a successful business, you apply this into business. So if there's a skill that you want to learn, you can easily apply this type of obsession to that skill. Now, don't get it twisted. That does not mean you have to do the thing you're obsessed with day and night to achieve results. It just means you do it consistently. Whether that's 1 hour a day, 30 minutes a day, 2 hours a day, what matters is that it's every day. Or if it's something that you can't do every day, it's still on a consistent basis. Think of it this way. If there's something that's very important for you to achieve, all you have to do is guard everything else from that. So I can take my exact gym story and think of it as that meeting is useless. That class with the useless lecture is stopping me from making gains. So I'm not going to let that happen. Or that party is going to slow down my gains. So I'm not going to do that. Staying up late playing video games with my friends is actually going to hurt my business productivity because tomorrow I'm going to wake up late or I'm going to be extremely tired the entire day. Think of it as you're trying to swat away a bunch of flies. Keep everything else away and focus on what you want to do. That's what's going to get you the results. And what's funny is that addiction works very similarly, but it has the opposite effect on you. Haven't you noticed that when you want to play video games, you try to put everything else aside so that you can focus on that which you're addicted to? Notice how when you're at work, you think you're going to come home, make some dinner, go to bed on time so that you're not tired for the next day. But what ended up happening is you got home as fast as possible, you pushed everything to the side, and you started playing video games. That also is a form of obsession. Maybe you didn't intend for your evening to go that way, you wished it was more productive, but that's what ended up happening. What about the person who's addicted to smoking weed? Imagine, they might be trying to stop, but during their work time, they're thinking about how they're going to come home and not do that. But as soon as they get home, it's so accessible, and their brain starts pushing everything else aside. Hey, actually, this I don't need to do for another couple days. Laundry can wait. Food, technically, I have some chips. I'll do with that. I'm not going to be hungry. You pushed everything else aside just so that you can do that one habit. The difference is that those negative habits that are very easy to slip into doing, your brain helps you swat away all the other obstacles. But the habits that are harder to implement, that are actually healthier for you, you have to swat away all the other obstacles yourself, consciously. It's a conscious choice that you're making, not to do the other things and not to let in the other distractions, and actually do what you have to do. That's everything for today, guys. See you in the next one.